Manga-Waido.
My name is Asuka. I'm 29 years old. I'm an office worker working as a temp at a major advertising agency. Work is going well. I have a good relationship with my coworkers, and every day was enjoyable. Then, one day, about 6 months after I started working there,
Asuka-san, I like you! Will you go out with me?
Toru, my senpai in the same division, confessed his love for me and we ended up going out. He's known for his good work ethic, and he was also a kind gentleman. In fact, he even helped me from my boss who was forcing me to drink at a party right after I started working at the company. On top of that, he helped me out when I make mistakes at work, and even covered for me when a customer was forcing me to do something unreasonable. As a woman, it's hard not to be attracted to such a kind and dependable man. I responded immediately with a yes. And so, over the course of several dates, I became infatuated with my senpai. I've been in relationships with several people in my life, but I don't think I've ever liked anyone as much as him. Just as I was beginning to imagine a future with him, I received a message from him saying,
"Wanna come over to my place sometime?"
I was so excited to be visiting his place for the first time. What should I wear? What souvenir should I bring? After much thought, I decided to bake cookies and financiers, my senpai's favorite, and bring them with me. And on the day of, I heard before that senpai's parents were well off from running a high-class restaurant, and he himself lived in a luxurious condo. But we ended up meeting in front of a train station 3 train stations away from the city. I should have known something was wrong at that point. As we arrived at the destination, what? It was a large single-family home.
Oh, you're the one who's dating Toru.
His mother was waiting to welcome us in. With no explanation of meeting his mother beforehand, I was honestly surprised. You said you live alone, right? Why are we at your parents' house today?
I'm only renting that place because it's convenient and close to the office. I basically live here.
I wish you would have told me that. His mother was smiling the whole time. But
How old are you?
from there, I was asked about my occupation, hobbies, the brand of clothes I was wearing, and so on. It was as if I was at a job interview. On top of that, she would scoff at me with every answer I gave. I had a bad feeling about this since I got here.
Is it true that Toru confessed his feelings to you? You're so different from the other girls I've met. I thought you had grasped some kind of weakness of his.
Of course not. Mom, your jokes are always so funny.
His sense of humor is off if he thought that was a funny joke. His mother's jokes kept coming after that, and then, just as senpai got up from his seat,
Oh my god! I wonder if Toru has developed bad taste in women. Everything about you is so shabby. Do you think you're good enough for my Toru?
what a shock.
Would you please not feed amateur homemade sweets to Toru?
I was deeply offended when she insulted the sweets right in front of me, but I managed to hold back as to not embarrass my senpai. I never want to see this lady again. With that in mind, I refused all invitations to his house from the next date onward. Does senpai not realize that his mother is cold to his own girlfriend? If so, he's really insensitive. And on a different occasion, I noticed my senpai anxiously glancing at his watch at the end of our date. Is something wrong?
Can we go to one more place if you don't mind?
Maybe he wants to talk about something important. I thought about it for a moment, then nodded with a smile. But before I knew it, we were in front of his parents' house. Because we took a different route than before, I didn't notice the house at all until it appeared in front of me. I made up excuses saying, it's late today, I didn't even bring a souvenir, with the sole intention of not wanting to see his mother. But senpai pushed through saying, it's fine, she invited us. I didn't think it was fine at all, recalling the last time I was here, but I couldn't refuse and had to follow after him. Sure enough, senpai's mother greeted me with a grin as soon as she saw me. And when senpai left the table,
You're wearing a very short skirt today. How vulgar for your age.
I'm sorry.
And you didn't even bring me a souvenir. Or is it because money is the only way to get a good education? I'd like to see your parents' faces.
I couldn't prepare anything because I was brought here on such short notice. She should have known that, but still called me out for having bad manners, saying I was shameless, and even insulted my parents to boot. I lost my patience and reported every word that was said to me to my senpai. However,
My mom would never say that! Are you the kind of person who makes up stories like that? No, right?
I was speechless. Furthermore, the exchange as we were about to leave completely shut me out. His mother came over the moment senpai left his seat.
Here's the consolation fee. With this, I'm gonna need you to part ways with him.
What?
I'll make it clear, but a woman like you isn't suitable for my Toru. Toru's too kind to break up with you, so I'll do it for you.
I see, but I can't accept this money.
What? You don't have to be so vain. How many months of your salary is this? You want it so bad, don't you? How pathetic.
She kept talking, but I ignored it all. At this point, I was already thinking about my plan on how to blow this old hag out of the water. Upon ignoring his mother's request, I pretended that I was still going out with Senpai. On our next date, we planned on going to the high-end restaurant run by his mother. I marked the date with a red circle on my calendar and waited in anticipation. The day of the date, I put on my favorite one-piece dress and took off to the restaurant alone. As I walked up to the restaurant, I saw a woman in a kimono standing near the entrance.
Oh, I thought Toru was coming, but it's you again. And what a shabby dress you are wearing. I'm sorry, but we don't accept reservations from the poor.
I knew you would say that, but I have money. This place is actually struggling financially, isn't it?
Huh? What in the world are you talking about?
Shall I buy it for $1 billion?
What? Are you trying to make a fool out of my store? There's no way the poor like you can afford that kind of money.
They say barking dogs seldom bite. With that in mind, I handed her my business card. My name is Asuka Hondo of Den Pondo.
You're the vice president of Den Pondo? What do you mean? I thought you were a temporary worker.
I am actually the granddaughter of Tsuyoshi Hondo, the chairman of Den Pondo, a major advertising agency. I studied business while working at an overseas branch and returned to the head office following a personal transfer. However, that ended yesterday, and my title had already become vice president.
No way!
Oh, and these clothes you laughed at for being cheap? It's my friend's brand, and celebrities such as Emma Watson and Natalie Poloman have worn it. Or are you willing to say that they're all poor?
No! Well, I didn't know about that.
Senpai showed up too.
Sorry I'm late. Huh? Asuka, were you talking to Mom?
Hey, Toru, what's going on? Isn't this person a temporary worker?
Huh? Wait, Mom, what are you talking about?
There's no way Senpai would have known. I had to hide my identity while working in order to learn about the site. I started dating Senpai because I was attracted to his personality and his diligent work ethic. Even if we were to get married eventually, his mother's presence would be insignificant. That's what I thought, but that's no longer the case. So, what would you like to do? How many years of your salary is $1 billion yen worth? You must want it so bad, don't you? How pathetic. Her face turned red and she fell silent. It was a beautiful moment. Do you understand? Judging people too soon and looking down on them will end with consequences.
I apologize. It won't happen again. I take back everything I said to you.
Mom, what's wrong? Look up! Asuka, why would you say something like that?
This guy was still lost even after all of that. You should be careful too, Senpai. Guys who are still dependent on their mother aren't attractive. I'm not a fan either. So, let's break up. Thank you very much for your time.
What?
Oh, the buyout was a joke, by the way. Wasn't it funny? You don't actually think this restaurant is worth $1 billion yen, do you? I'm sorry, but it isn't. Neither this restaurant or you, Senpai. They were both left speechless for a while. I said goodbye and walked away, and that's when they started to howl back, but I didn't care. This restaurant apparently went bankrupt 6 months later and quietly went out of business without being bought out by anyone. The mother is now living a modest life in his apartment, relying on her son's earnings. People who look down on others with money will be hurt by money. I should be careful too. It was an incident that made me realize that.